dead, of course. I'd imagined her kidnapped, imprisoned, hidden, brainwashed, indentured, enslaved, made into a princess, transported by aliens to their faraway planet. I saw her in grocery stores, on book covers, in the backgrounds of movies, a lifted shoulder or sunlight on a cheekbone, that little dance she did when she was happy. Once, I saw the back of her head 3 rows in front of me on a plane from Boston to New Orleans and leaped out of my seat with the seatbelt sign still on. But it wasn't her dark hair, and not her thin shoulders, not her quizzical smile after my lame, "oh, I thought I knew you" excuse. We were too far apart in age, I guess, to have that sister connection some people talk about, the sense of knowing where the other is or when they're upset. Sure, she was my only big sister, but she was already wrapped up in her own concerns, and I was a goofy little kid, and my sibling worship didn't have the time to evolve into mystical bonding. Was she still alive? I still have a picture of her and Pooch, the one Dad took with his camera that wasn't a phone. The almost sepia rectangle of daughter and dog is faded now and cracking with old-fashioned, wavy, once-white edges. The original one is in my apartment, and the copy thumbtacked to the bulletin board over my desk at Channel 6. At some point you have to stop looking, I told myself. But still, if she did something truly bad, how much did I want to know? How would that knowledge change my life, my career? Maybe it's better for me to pretend she never existed. But I know she did exist. Sometimes it feels like she still comes to me in my dreams, this time asking me to find her. So I couldn't help but imagine that. Approaching her, confronting her gently, gingerly, or standing in her line of sight to see if there was a glimmer. Would I even recognize my big sister after all this time? I was 7 when she vanished, and Cassie was 18, so maybe. Maybe not. Or maybe she'll recognize me. She'll find me. Chapter 1. Lily. Standing center stage at the spotlighted podium, a newly won Emmy in hand and a glitteringly bejeweled audience applauding her, Lily knew she was being ridiculous. But she examined each face quickly as she could, from the big shots in the front row to the smaller market wannabes in the back of the Boston Convention Center auditorium, to the randoms scurrying the periphery, the latecomers, the technicians, the bustling event staff, and black-uniformed security. Was that one Cassie? Was that one? It was absurd, foolish, delusional. There was no way Cassie would be in this audience, but that would not stop Lily from looking, scanning, wondering. Not just tonight, but everywhere she went. Her brain had developed its own facial recognition software, grown adept at comparing and analyzing, and always rejecting. So far. But tonight it wasn't only Cassie she was looking for, and that made Lily's scrutiny all the more intense. The applause quieted, most upturned faces now expectant. Lily saw a few glance at their watches. 10:15 on a Saturday night. Losers yearned to go home. "I'm so thrilled to accept this on behalf of all the Lily Atwood team." She knew that sounded glib, but rules allowed only one recipient at the podium, necessary to prevent rambling, wine-fueled acceptance speeches. "We all work so hard, and let me especially thank my darling producer, Greer Whitfield, without whom— Stand up, Greer!" She pointed to a front table and saw her gesture magnified, becoming gigantic in the huge TV monitors flanking her, the white sequins of her body-hugging gown shimmering. Greer stood for a fraction of a second, and Lily could see her colleague's discomfort at being the center of attention even for that long. Lily blew her a sincere kiss, then went on. "And thank you to all who have contributed to our success, including my confidential sources." She winked and got a murmur of laughter in return. "This is a shared honor." She heard the wrap-it-up music, spoke more quickly. "It's an inspiration and a promise to continue to protect the public from—" She finished her speech, did one last crowd check as her colleagues applauded again, then accepted the arm of the tuxedoed host, who escorted her backstage to the professional makeup person they'd hired to make sure the